Today we're following a map of Arran that I found by accident that my father left, maybe for me or maybe I just found it, and it has all of his sort of like notes on. So we're going to visit these places that he wrote in the notes. So there's 7 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. Have I missed one? 1, there's 7. So we're going to visit as many of these as we can today. I think we're ready to go. Yeah. So the first point says where Chris worked. Chris is my stepbrother. He's the oldest stepbrother. There's Chris, Nick and Alistair. So we are here where Chris worked. So we're at Brodick Castle. Chris is a commercial kind of tourist photographer, takes pictures of golf courses, that sort of thing. We don't really speak. For a long time I was so angry at him that the only thing I could possibly think of doing to get revenge on him was to buy him a book token, because it seemed like any sort of rageful or angry act would just be too obvious, too expected. So I thought maybe if I sent him like a gift it'll fuck with his head more, but I didn't ever do it. Can you smell Tetley Brewery? We said that in each place I would have a whiskey and do a libation, the pouring of a drink for the dead. I really fucking hate whiskey and I'm regretting it because it's not even lunchtime. I got this one because it's got a port cask finish and I like port, and it said strawberry jam on it. And I like strawberry jam even though I don't like whiskey. I need to get some jam. There you go. And some for Dad. And some maybe for Chris, because he might be dead. I don't know. Unceremonial. Let's go. There's 7 primary schools and I think 7 golf courses. The most spectacular golf course on earth, according to Jim. My dad's gym. So we're here. We couldn't go into the cafe because there's a funeral today. But the lady was very helpful and nice and said that we are in the right place because we weren't sure. The cherry brandy was so much better. Another libation for Dad. I think I like my dad a little bit more just from being on the island, which is nice. Not quite sure what that's about, but it's good. Right, onwards. Is it just me or are these road markings on the piss?
You'll be seeing your whiskey again.
Somewhere around here is where my stepbrother Chris lived or lives. Not in this castle because it's a bit windy. So we're going to do a libation. I feel sick. Yeah, still gross. There's a kind of like poetic thing I think about this whiskey leaving a slightly nasty taste in my mouth. Hello. Oh, I forgot to pour some for my dad. Are you still going?
Yeah.
Right. I think there is a sense that I feel like I'm breathing out, and I think I had that sense in Hamburg. There's stuff that I've been carrying around with me that I wasn't really aware of until I've been able to put it down for a bit. Next one over.
So the next set of houses, is that what you think?
Yeah. it's been interesting to see the things that are rising to the top in this project. So the fact that both my parents are islands. They're both islands with red squirrels. One is at the southmost point of the country and the other's right up the other end in Scotland, so they're distant. Feels right. This is the address I have for my dad from my mum's old address book. Check out the nice handwriting. And it says, I googled it last night and it seems to be over the other side, in the port to Anderson. It says 47A Lenamore, Fullerton Drive, Seamill, West Kilbride, Ayrshire, where I spent my childhood. Also says Lenamore. You're just looking at my computer face now, but that's got Lenamore, and the tone of the day shifted a bit. I think I'm just feeling quite sad now. Yeah, sad that I got lumbered with a load of shit that I didn't have any choice over. But that's how it is. I guess that means no one's in. I'll let you get back to it. Bye. He was watching the tennis. He's 74, and my dad would be at least 81, I think. So he's been here since the mid-70s. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to say. Oh yeah. I forgot. I was so busy feeling grumpy. I think it feels apt to have run into a slightly disinterested older man that was slightly unwilling to talk to me. Doesn't deserve it. Let's go. Okay, so we found where my dad went to primary school, and yeah, I've been drinking whiskey all day, so I've just taken a moment to put some perfume on, have a tic tac.
So what was your dad's name?
Oh, he's called Jim Calvi, but he'd be, if he was alive now, he'd be mid-80s.
Right, so young. Well, we've got 3 90-year-olds in the village. Well, we've got two 90-year-olds now, and a 90-year-old on Hogmanay. So yes, we've got in mid-80s is still young.
Okay,
yes.
Great.
Right. You might know Mary then.
Yeah, I don't know. So his cousin Mary, who I met once.
Robertson?
Maybe. So we're at our 5th stop. We've just had a really good chat with a lady called Louise who was really helpful. She thinks that all the children are on a residential trip today, all 9 of them. So that's how many children there are in school, aged between 3 and 12. I would not like to teach that in that school. That is a skill, to pitch to so many different ages. I wonder how many children were there when my dad was there. I guess you're going to get a pretty strong sense of your own importance if you're in a class that small. We were trying to find out where his cousin Mary lives, which is further that way. And when I asked if there was a pub, she said that was the centre of the temperance movement. So I don't know if I get a gold star for cultural sensitivity. But yeah, she's given us some local historians that we might be able to speak to, names of people. But anyway, libation, that's the task. It doesn't get better. Here you go, Dad, not supposed to drink in school, I imagine. Great. Well, the grief series as a whole has tried to bear witness to people's experiences, not fix them. I'm not a counsellor, I'm not qualified, but I think there's been an attempt by me to bear witness to other people's experiences, and I think this has felt quite uncomfortable for me, because I think this has been asking other people to bear witness to my experiences, and I didn't think that I would feel as uncomfortable with that as I have, but I really have, and it's caused me quite a lot of... I was going to use the word anguish, which sounds a bit much. So I've done a lot of crying. They're a very lovely older couple there called Elizabeth and Alec, and they have just been to a funeral at the golf course, the funeral that they were setting up for earlier at the cafe. Mary had a sister, there were just 2 girls, so yeah, there's a big whole chunk of family history that is now infinitely Googleable because I understand all the bits. Yeah, so that's really good. And her house is Ashgrove, which we passed on the way. And she said there'll be no one there because Neil's away, but there might be a gardener there. So explain yourself if you see a white van outside. We're at the last place. I feel a little bit bad doing libation in a place that was part of the temperance movement. So I feel it feels a little bit illegal. Also, being on someone's house or on someone's land when they're away also feels a little bit wrong. But that's fine. It's part of it. I really need a wee. So the idea of drinking anything else is not appealing. But I'm feeling much more celebratory than I was an hour and a half ago, so that's good. Oh, and I think, so I met Mary once, I met her at my dad's funeral, and she was really kind to me, and she let me go in her car and made sure I knew where I was going and was very friendly. So in fact, I think instead of this libation being for Dad, it's going to be for Mary, I think. Still not nice, Matt.
Very.
You've not left Mary much.
Sorry, Mary.
In fact, angry ranty, but to communicative women. Great, done. We finished the pilgrimage. We've been to all of the places on the map except one. We didn't manage to go to the lock because we didn't have time and it's a long walk, but I'm hoping we might do that tomorrow. If the project is about reconnecting with the dead, spending time with the dead, I definitely think I did that today. Definitely feel like I got to know a new side of my dad, in that having an understanding of where he'd grown up influences how I feel about the way he was. I think he was very sure of his ideas and very quite rigid, and I wonder whether that might have something to do with living in a small place and feeling quite sure of yourself or quite connected to where you live. So I feel like I like him more at the end of today. I think today has like fundamentally shifted something in me as a person and my understanding of who I am and how I feel about things. And I think I've worried whether people have got me, but I think today has made me feel like everyone definitely was bearing witness to that and was holding that space for me. And it's quite simple, but it is really quite a big thing, I think.